Good morning. How are y'all?
Good, good. How was the your sub-varsity game this morning?
Oh, it went well. I was still in football mode, and then I heard you trying to spit out the word implication. It kind of threw me off a little bit.
That's okay, Coach. Jake does that with just about everybody he talks to. Coach, how did you feel about Thursday night's game now that you've had a chance to look at the film, and specifically what you guys were able to do in that fourth quarter? Because to me, that was the most impressive part of it. You know, staying with is great, but being able to put on a surge in the fourth quarter really says something about your team, I think.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, as we went back through, and you watch, obviously there were some mistakes and some things in the first half, but the saying is you're only as good as your last play, and I think the important thing was the way we finished that ball game on Friday night. Had a tremendous fourth quarter. Got the stops that we weren't getting on defense, performed well in the kicking phases, and then we're able to convert first downs and kind of establish the run game there late in the fourth quarter. So, no, felt pretty good. And after we went back through the video, I thought the kids improved as the game wore on, which is kind of a testament to them and their resiliency.
Now, you've come in and you're the second coach in Vela's history, and coming in, how has it been as far as implementing what you wanted to do? Because you're bringing your own philosophy into the program. How's that been?
Oh, it's been really good. I mean, obviously we have the luxury. Coach Salinas and his staff did a tremendous job of getting to the program to where it is right now. So what I've been telling everybody since I got here, it's just a matter of tweaking and putting your own little personal touches on it. So there's such a strong foundation, or there was already such a strong foundation when we came in. It's been a relatively easy transition.
Now, you had Nixon your first week. You had Ed Calchelsa second week. And now you're going to play Brownsville Veterans, who's one of the tougher teams in 5A. How, the schedule doesn't help you early in the season as far as, being easy for you.
No, but at the same time, I think we sometimes lose sight. We're not in the BCS system. I mean, these games don't count towards what you got to do to get into the playoffs. And I like how the schedule is. We're playing some good quality football teams, which obviously win, lose, or draw get you ready if you're able to stay healthy for district play. So no, we're very excited. We know that the next ball game is going to be another challenge, but at the same time, we're excited to embrace it.
Coach, I'm interested in your philosophy in non-district play and what you look for from your team during these games. Like you say, this isn't the BCS. Wins or losses don't. They're nice, and you always want to win, but they don't count towards district or making the playoffs at this point in time in the year. What is it that you look for improvement from your team? Are there certain things that you always look for in non-district that you want to see from your teams as they go through until they get to district?
Without a doubt, the first my personal, in terms of programs I've been associated with, is we want to establish dominance in the kicking phases early. Make that kind of a stamp, something that the kids buy into. That's not something that's always glamorous. And if you're able to establish success in the kicking phases early in the year, and you get that buy-in within your program, it's going to help you on later on down the road. Second thing is we want to be able to play as many bodies as we possibly can, because we're not, you're not perfect as coaches, and the best way to evaluate your team obviously is getting those kids on video. Fortunately, we've been able to do both in the previous two games and hope to do the same. So you want to establish as much depth as possible. Keep the game plans relatively simple so that you can kind of evaluate and like I said, develop as much depth and have success in the kicking phases so that as you enter into district play, you've got, whether you're carrying 55 or 60 on your roster, you got as many able bodies that are going to be able to contribute as possible.
You are listening to The Huddle on 1700 AM Fox Sports, and with us right now, Coach John Campbell of the 2-0 Edinburgh Vela SaberCats, and Jake Berry of 956 Sports powering this show as well. Jake, I know you were pretty impressed with what the SaberCats have been able to do so far.
I have, and I wanted to ask this question. I asked Matt Stepp from Texas football before you came down, what kind of offense you ran. And he said you like to, get into the eye, more of a power game. What's that been like coming down here and implementing? I'm not sure if you're implementing that or if you're still running a little bit of the spread, but what's it been like putting in your own wrinkles?
Well, I think what we got to see is the other day when push came to shove, we were able to get into some two-back type concepts. I mean, we're still working within the framework of what they had success with previously. Had the opportunity to bring in Coach Vandermergel from United South, that has a very strong background in the RPO game. Obviously, had made a deep playoff run last year at Laredo United South, and then kind of my background has been a little bit more like what Matt was saying was, two backs under center, outside zone, play action, and kind of working threefold within the framework of what they were already good at. You don't want to, don't, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Bring in some things that was going to enhance the passing game. Feel really good about having Nate Garcia, obviously, as the returning district MVP. Get him the ability to kind of develop a little bit more as a true quarterback. We know he can run the ball, and then have the ability to get in some two-back concepts, so that when we're in 4-minute situations or we have to get first downs, we're able to grind the ball out a little bit. And actually, the other day, it was actually our 12 personnel grouping that kind of sealed the victory.
Well, Coach, you mentioned that and what Nate has done and turning him into more of a true, even a drop back quarterback, especially with the play action that you're running there. What's the learning curve been like for him, and how has he progressed through the changes that you've implemented?
He's done really, really well. I mean, I think he pretty much had one option last year, and the second being tuck it and run. We know he can do that, and we know that Nate's going to have the ability to win football games for us with his feet as we enter into district play. Right now, though, we want to get as many touches with as many kids as possible, and so he's really, really improved with our concepts and understanding his progressions and distributing the ball, finding the open guy, diagnosing coverages, things of that nature. So I've been very impressed with Nate and his development as a true quarterback, particularly, since we got back into fall camp.
Oh, that's great. I was wondering how that transition was going to be from you coming down here where we've got about 3 minutes left, Coach, so I'll be real quick. But coming down here from San Antonio where you had all those, I hate to say it, you had more 5-star athletes than you probably do down here. What's it been like coming down here, though, in adjusting to this?
I think the biggest thing is with the community and with the kids is the perception that San Antonio is some kind of monstrosity, when everybody's a 5-star athlete. And I'm not downplaying that thought process, because there is a little bit, I guess, on, tailor to take talent. But it's not as big a gap as people think. I mean, we go back and we look at some of the scores. Mercedes beat Cal Allen beat Johnson, San Benito beat East Central. It's not that big a gap, and so it's been refreshing coming down here. The kids, the communities are hungry for success, and really kind of debunking that myth. There's plenty teams down here in the Valley that on any given night can go up there and compete against teams from San Antonio. Now, every now and then there's going to be a Judson High School that's just uber talented, but the gap is not that big. And so it's been exciting and refreshing to come down here in a program that's